Stand by. This is Control.
What's up, everybody? This is Sinner, bringing you episode 2 of my Gears of War Judgment wishlist. This may be the last episode, or I may just keep this going based on new ideas that come into my head. I'll probably continue it with some more stuff that just may be shorter and smaller videos. But I'm playing a little ranked TDM with some other guys from Control here. Don't bother checking out their channels. They're crap. They're really bad. No, just kidding. They put out good stuff. One of the guys, Control Fame, is an editor, does pretty good stuff for us. Designs does a lot of good GFX work for us, and Slim... Well, Slim just looks like Castro. He looks like Fidel Castro, and go check out his Road to Garretson. No, I'm just kidding. He's a great guy. He's a really cool dude. Check out his channel, too. Now, what I'm going to be talking about are just some small things and some bigger things that I'd like to see changed in the game coming up throughout in Gears of War Judgment. The first thing I'm going to get to is a simple thing that I think would maybe stop some hate that goes on in-game. It's one of the things that I think that Call of Duty actually gets right in the game, and I'm not a huge Call of Duty fan. I mean, I don't think it's horrible. I'm just not a big fan of the game, but when somebody's down in Call of Duty, if you take their kill, quote-unquote take it, I mean, you don't really take it. You just get an assist. If somebody's down and you shoot him, you get an assist. The guy who downed him gets credit for the kill. I think that's a great idea. I wish Gears of War would do it. Unfortunately, they don't, and it causes a lot of hate because everybody's always complaining, damn it, you took my kill and whatever else. And it's really annoying because Gears of War it's a stat whore game. That's just the way it is. Everybody who plays it is worried about their stats. And I think if that was incorporated into the game, it would take away a lot of that, and people wouldn't complain nearly as much as they do about someone stealing kills and causing animosity and arguments and team chats and whatever else. So I think that's a simple change that could be done. And it would help the game out quite a bit, and maybe bring the community together at least a little bit more, or at least during gameplay bring people together a little bit more, and they wouldn't care. Just if you see somebody down, you just kill them, and it's alright, and nobody's going to care. But that's just my simple thought on that. Playlists, I think playlists really, really need to be trimmed. I'm tired of... I think there's something like... I don't know, 15 playlists or something. I mean, it's big. It's way, way too much, especially for a community that's the size that it is. If we had the Call of Duty sized community, then, or the Halo sized community, it may not be such a big deal. But with the Gears of War size that it is with the community, the playlists are way too big. I think it needs to be trimmed down. You need to get rid of the multiple different kinds. Now, granted, some of that is going to help with like the Alpha and Zeta won't be necessary if stopping power is removed and things like that, and there's no sawed off, so you won't have to have special playlists for those. But we don't need so many different kinds, different types in the game. If they could just streamline that down, I think it would do the game a lot of good. I think that's a pretty simple fix as well. Controls. Now everybody knows that I'm sure most everybody knows by now, that they're changing the control scheme for Judgment. They're trying to make it a little more streamlined for a faster paced game, and that's great. I like faster paced games. I think that'll be fun. I worry about changing the controls a little bit, but you know, like everything else, you're going to get used to it, especially if you start off playing the campaign, which is how a lot of people even get used to playing on alternate scheme now. They just go through and play the campaign once, and it helps them out. But I think that's something that could easily be incorporated into the game, and it shouldn't be too big of a deal. People are just not going to like it at first. But I don't think it's going to be really that bad. That's just my opinion. And take it for what it is. I mean, that's what all this stuff is. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right or whatever, or somebody else is wrong. It's just things off the top of my head right now. But controls, I mean, they're changing it up so where you press Y and you're going to select between your shotgun and whatever rifle you have at the time. Not such a huge deal there, especially since Y, unless you're using alternate, isn't really used anyway right now for the standard control people. Grenades are going to be done with like RB or LB, something like that. Again, not really that big of a deal. I think it's going to be LB, and RB is probably still going to be reloading and things like that. But if it speeds up the gameplay, that's fine. If it doesn't cause too much of a mess in the game, I'm good with it. I don't know. I'm kind of hesitant on it though, because once again, it is changed. We're at the 4th game in the series, and they're making a major control scheme change. So I worry about it a little bit. But who knows? Maybe it'll be for the best. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out after the game's out for a little while. Just don't hate on it too much. Give it a chance. Play through the campaign. Get used to it. No harm, no foul. The next thing I'm going to talk about is maps. As you can see, yes, right now I'm playing on Gridlock. Wow, I've been playing on Gridlock for 6 years now. I like the map in 1. I mean, I kind of like it now, but it's like I'm tired of it. It's kind of how it is. I'm just really tired of this map. I hope it doesn't come back in Judgment. Unless in another scenario that I'll talk about in a second when I talk about maps. But there are some maps that I don't know, I think in general, Gears of War struggles with sometimes in maps. I wish they would do things kind of like other game types do, where they have maps, but just because you have a map doesn't mean necessarily that it has to be there for every game type. I'm going to give you an example of Clock Tower. Now, I think they bring some of these maps back because fans ask for them, they like them, whatever, but in general, fans are idiots. We'll ask for anything. I mean, we'll ask for all kinds of stupid stuff, but once we get it, we're like, oh man, that sucks, it's really stupid. Kind of like Clock Tower. Great map in Gears of War 1. I loved Clock Tower. It was such a fun map. And I think it's still a good map for a regular game type, like a no respawn game type, like Execution, Warzone, whatever. Those game types, it works fine for. Respawn game types, if you have a good team, it is absolutely horrible. Because it's way, way too easy to trap someone in spawn if you're a good team. And then it just kind of ruins the game, and it makes people disinterested in the game. I mean, that's just kind of my take on that. There are other maps like Overpass is a really bad map for most game types. But for Horde, it works out great. You post up top, and you just sit there and you have fun just doing what you do playing Horde. I mean, other games in general, they do this, where they'll have a map, and the map works good for something, you know, like an attack and defend kind of thing in, I forget what it was called, maybe Assault or something like that in Unreal Tournament. And, I mean, other series do this as well, where it's good for certain game types only. And I'm fine with that. I don't need to play a map on every single game type just because they make it. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I hope they start to analyze and check things out like they did with Trenches when it first came out. They saw Trenches was a really bad map, so they changed it. I'm all for that. If they can make changes to maps, even if it's halfway through the game's release or whatever, if it's been out for a while, I don't care. I'm good with that as long as it's something for the better. Like Trenches worked out for the better. Not that I'm a huge Trenches fan or anything, but it is way better than it was during the beta. I guess that's kind of my general thought on maps, because it's hard to analyze maps because we don't know what they're going to be. We don't know what it's going to be like. I just hope they look at how they've failed and everything in the past and what they've done right. To do that, I hope they do a beta, and I hope they bring in some people like professional players, MLG-style players, and I don't mean GB players because, come on, those guys are not professionals. They're just idiots like you and I that run around and we play this game for fun. They just happen to have a website that brings them together to play semi-competitively. I hope they bring in guys from the real MLG competitive side that want to get this game on the circuit. Fly them out there for, you know, a week or a few days or whatever. And yes, in the short term, it's going to cost them money and they won't see any benefit from it. But in the long term, hopefully they will see benefit from it because maybe it'll get on the circuit, maybe it gets more people interested in the game, wanting to buy the game and keep it. So it's kind of it's a risky scenario. It is, because they're not going to see the benefit from it right away. But I hope they do something like that. And yeah, they can even have a beta where they get some information from people, regular style players and whatever. But I just hope they don't. I just don't want them to rely solely on that, because like I said, fans are idiots. We'll ask for anything. We're going to tell them, oh my god, it's great, just because I want a new Gears of War Judgment. We're going to tell them how freaking great it is. And that's the ones they're going to listen to, is because they like just people blowing up their ego and saying, oh my god, they love this game, it's so great. Well, it's not always the case. Sometimes, you know, we ask for stupid things and we get it, or we just blindly say something's good when it's not. King of the Hill spawns. I hope they take a look at that, because some of the King of the Hill spawns are horrible. I played with some guys last night. We played in Gold Glove stream with some friends, and I can't tell you how many times where we ended up getting spawned on top of, or we'd be in control of a circle, and they're spawning right next to the circle. That makes no sense. Just because we have control of it doesn't mean they should have the benefit of getting something like a spawn right close to it just so they can instantly break it. There's got to be a way they can fix it. I mean, I can't believe that there's absolutely no way to fix that in the game. The season pass, and that's kind of what I think on King of the Hill spawns. There needs to be, and that comes back to the whole competitive gamer thing, where I wish they would analyze it, because that could end up being a pretty big competitive game type other than just TDM or an execution. King of the Hill's got a pretty big following, and I think that could really help for MLG stuff. I hope they bring back the season pass. I didn't really mind that. I thought it was kind of a cool idea to get all my purchases out of the way right now, and I saved some money on it. So I hope something like that comes back. Events, events are kind of fun. Sometimes they're getting kind of old now. It's kind of stale. It's a lot of the same events over and over. Some goofy, some fun things might be kind of neat. Like, you know, the big head weird voices was kind of, it was kind of fun. I don't know, it was kind of entertaining. I kind of dug that for a little bit. So maybe some, and I don't really have a lot of ideas for it, but I would like to see him come up with maybe something that's, you know, just fun, makes me laugh a little bit while playing the game, because I'm getting tired of, you know, not having as much fun while I play this game lately anymore. I'd like to be able to have some giggles and stuff other than just trying to troll people to get my laughs and everything. That's just kind of my thoughts on that. But anyway, guys, I really hope you liked this video. If you did, rate, comment, subscribe, check out my Twitter, check out my team, check out the guys that are playing with me right now. Go check out their channels. They're really good at what they do. And I appreciate you guys for watching this. Have a good day. Enjoy. Thank you.